Welcome to the latest United We Stand video. I'm with Brian McClair, and the mood has picked up a lot at Manchester United with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mike Phelan coming in, two people who Brian knows well. Were you surprised about the appointment?
I was surprised because I've been consistent in what I said about Jose, that I didn't think there'd be a change until Champions League scenarios had been all played out, either in the competition as it stands at the moment or throughout the season, and also Champions League places available for the positions in the league. But I think if you reflect on certain things, maybe it wasn't such a surprise really. Maybe the timing, I thought maybe they would have waited maybe a little bit longer. But I'm sure you might know a bit more detail than I do. It's not difficult in order to produce a fun or enjoyable environment. I think it's been pretty clear that that's been the opposite of the opposite, or polar opposite to probably what's happened over the last number of days since Jose's gone, and it's always going to be that kind of way. If you've got that idea about how it should be, certainly as players, and certainly me as coaching with the reserves and the younger team, and Mick in his experience of working with Sir Alex would have wanted an environment where it was enjoyable, hard, tough learning, but enjoyable. And
so you say it's not hard to make that happy environment. Why didn't Jose Mourinho, a hugely experienced manager, make that environment?
Well, I think perhaps that the biggest sort of blow to him was losing his right-hand man.
Yeah.
And he made the decision to bring Kieran and Michael along with him. Kieran has had quite a bit of experience coaching kids. Michael's just starting on his journey, and I think that you always need someone there who could disagree with you, fall out with you, agree with you of course also, but have that kind of balance. I think that the assistant managers throughout the history of the Ferguson years, you would be able to see that all different, but they would produce the same kind of idea, that they're always willing to argue a certain point, and I think maybe that was a big bit that was missing from Jose since the summer.
By the end, Jose wasn't even communicating with those people you mentioned.
Well, I mean, when I was looking at the press conference before Liverpool game, where he was asked a question about how far was this squad to be in a Mourinho image, and he replied far, and the question was repeated, and he shrugged and went far. Now, if I was a player and I'd asked a few other people who played, they would have been pretty down after that. Unless he'd explained to them beforehand he wasn't actually having a go at them, because I don't think it was just. We've had that undercurrent all the way through about the tensions within the club, and at that point I thought, going into the biggest game, irrespective of league positions, Liverpool, the home and away, biggest game of the season for both sets of supporters, and the ones who understand about the fixture of both sets of players, coaches and staff, that was disturbed me.
What qualities does Ole Gunnar have as a coach?
I think it's very similar to what he was like as a player. He was ruthless in front of goals, and he has shown the same kind of appetite for learning as a head coach as he did as a player.
You worked with him closely?
Yeah, I worked with him very closely. I could see that he was always interested and always keen to have a go at the emotional side of the game with regards to coaching first teams.
Is it a good appointment?
I think you have to just look at the mood and everything that's been said and everything that's coming out in the social media, both externally and internally. I think it's good that both of them are there. Mick's got, I think Mick got a bit of a rough deal a rough deal when David Moyes took over, because Sir Alex had recommended that they don't change. And I'd said consistently that if we're all being said the same thing to David Moyes, if he wanted to keep one, he should look to keep Mick Phelan, because he was kind of like the glue and the buffer really between everybody really and the manager, and also and it's still coached as well.
And so you've got Mick, you've got Ollie, and you've got Alex Ferguson having some input into the decision. Is it good to have his input back?
I think it's been something that's been neglected as far as I'm aware, and that's been for a number of years, not just recently. And most people would imagine you're running a business when you had the experience and the intelligence of a very successful regime prior to the situation we're in now. It would seem to me, not that I'm a top level business person, but you would think that you would use and utilise as much as you can, and that's what they did. But I mean, Alex Ferguson spent as much time as he possibly could talking to the likes of Jock Stein and Sir Matt Busby when he first came to United.
So it's good to have him back in a decision-making process.
I think it's good that he's got some input, because it's a shame not to ask the question in certain scenarios. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure, sir.